What's going on, guys? Sodas here, and today's commentary is about attack helicopter tactics after the recent patch, because a lot of things have changed for the helicopters, and I would say most of them are for the good, I would say, at least. But the number one priority for the attack helicopter is the other attack helicopter. That's going to kill you probably 80% of the time, unless there's pretty much like just a pro pilot on the other team, and they're going to just kill you regardless, the whole game. And you got to get off to a good start in the attack helicopter if you start in the game and spawn in one right away like we did here. However, he went more wider on the map than I did, and so what ended up happening was, he did get the better of us. Although we did kill him, we ended up surviving there. But, he still ended up killing us, which was, unfortunate. And what I should have done is maybe went up a little bit higher and then way more to the left, like right away to begin with. But he was able to, get the jump on us. And usually for the attack helicopter, whoever gets the jump on that other one is going to win probably like 9 times out of 10, unless you can get below radar and do some little, tricks and stuff. Right here, I pretty much used the ECM jammer, and then my goal was, was to fly below him, get underneath the radar thing, and let the ECM jammer recharge. But what ended up happening was, the gunner ended up hitting him, and one of my missiles ended up hitting him too, and so he pretty much going to go down regardless. And so he bailed out, and then I ended up finishing him off there. And with this new patch, just even in general, the attack helicopters are just missile machines against the planes. So if there's any planes in the sky, you should pretty much be able to relatively kill them almost the whole entire time, as long as they're close to you, because you can fire like one missile, they'll use their countermeasures, and then you can fire their next one, which is another topic that I want to get on too, because a lot of times when you're in the scout helicopters and stuff, you'll realize that when you go and end up firing your first missile, they'll end up going and using their flares, and then you'll wait like a second or two and you'll fire your next missile, and that missile still goes and ends up missing them. And so what I've actually figured out is, once you fire that first missile, and if they're using flares, you'll see the flares deployed, and then you have to wait 3.5 seconds until you can fire your next missile in order for them to get hit. And so what I've been trying to train myself to do is, after I fire that first missile, I go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, and at 4 1000 I end up firing that missile, and then I'm going to hit them, for sure, unless the gunner has flares, of course, which typically it's hit and miss, with the gunners using flares. I'd probably say it's about 50-50. And even if they they do have the flares, the gunner, the one bad thing about when you're going against an attack helicopter and the gunner has flares is, when they deploy their flares, there's no animation, so you don't know if they actually deployed flares or not. And so sometimes when you're shooting missiles at the attack helicopter and stuff, and all of a sudden it just goes like way off to the side or something, it's because the gunner actually uses flares, but there's no animation for it, which is kind of pretty interesting. I just found out that recently too, which is interesting. I'm surprised they didn't put any animation for the gunner flares. I don't know if it was just maybe was too hard for the game mechanics, or or whatnot. It doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. And then I want to talk about the ECM jammer too, which is pretty much what I use. Well, it's pretty much what I use the whole entire time now. It's not 100% all the time, but I would say it's definitely better than the flares, and that's just because it lasts longer too, which is something that you definitely want. You want it to last longer, because the ECM jammer, I believe, lasts for something like 5 or 6 seconds once it's actually used, and then I think it recharges like 12 or 13 seconds. I'm not sure on the exact time frame, maybe a little bit longer after that. But it breaks all locks, including SOFLAM, the tank third C, and laser painter if there's one in the helicopter. And so you've got to fly in this new patch a lot lower to the ground, a lot faster, and your gunner is going to suffer from kills for sure. But overall, if you've got a good gunner and a good pilot, you're still going to be able to get, those 40, 50 kill games with the gunner, easy if they're using like thermal, or if they're just a good gunner and can spot targets pretty well too. And, you've definitely got to watch out too, because even if you go under radar, they're still going to be able to lock on with the SOFLAMs, the laser painters, and the third tank for the seat. So if you do end up going below that 25 yard or 25 meter thing, and it's on the middle right hand screen, your altitude, and so once you're below that 25 meters, it starts flashing red, and so when you're actually under the radar. And so if you're actually under the radar and you're still getting locked on, it can only either be a tank, a helicopter, or a soul flame, and so you've got to find out, where it is and whatnot, so you can destroy it properly and pretty much, get kill them and take your threat out, because that's going to be a big priority. Because even if you're ECM jammer, you're going to be able to go up and they're going to lock onto you right away. Some things that I've noticed too, even if you have the ECM jammer or flares after the patch, and someone fires a javelin or the guided tank missile, those will still hit you sometimes now, even with the new patch. Even though they're not supposed to, they still end up hitting you. And so what actually ends up happening is, from what I've personally seen, is that actually the javelin or the tank shell pretty much goes and just flies around in circles and stuff. And oh God, I hate when freaking people jump in the pilot seat, and they go and they just crash the helicopter right away. It's so annoying. But okay, all right, back to the commentary. I had a little rant. I want to probably do a commentary, or not a commentary, gameplay maybe of just people crashing the helicopter right when they get into it, which is frustrating. But it's something you got to deal with it, and it's starting to happen less and less, because the game's been out for so long, so people are able to fly and stuff. But all right, end of my off-topic little rant there. Oh, I don't even remember what I was talking about. But I'm going to talk about tanks now, which pretty much are I would say your second biggest threat after the attack helicopters. And that's just due to the fact that they've got the third seat on there. Pretty much everyone's got that unlocked. And if you don't have it unlocked, they pay for the unlocks. And I don't care if people did that. So you definitely have to watch out for that. I know I was getting targeted with the third seat on the tank for almost the last half of this gameplay, actually. And so what I ended up doing was just focusing solely on the tanks. And it did come back and it bit me in the ass for sure. Towards earlier too, when I was focused on that one tank for too long, the helicopter ended up taking off, flying towards me, and taking me out like nothing, which was unfortunate, but something you definitely have to keep your eye on too, because the helicopters spawn earlier now too. Before patch, they spawned at 3.5 minutes, I believe, and then now they spawn at 80 seconds. So a minute and 20 seconds, the helicopters back up, so you don't have to wait that long too, which is something that I like too. That's another reason why I like Battlefield 2. It's because I can have that breaks when I'm flying and stuff, where I don't have to just go in there, rush all over, all the time. It just I need a break sometimes when I'm playing games. That's one reason why why I don't like Call of Duty a lot of the times too, is because I still play both of them. They're still both fun games, in their own unique way for sure. But I just need a break sometimes. I drink a lot of water, and so when I go and I end up dying, I'll run to the bathroom sometimes to take a piss. And when I'm done with my piss, I come back. I only have to wait a few more seconds. Then my helicopter's back up to jump in, and I got lucky too. I probably would have killed that pilot earlier when I was repairing. But another thing too, don't be afraid to land and repair, especially if you're in hardcore. And that's just, due to the fact that, there's going to be a lot more people using stingers now in the game, or there is, after the patch. And pretty much what ends up happening is they don't have that long, ridiculous range anymore. But, if they're close to you and they log on to you, they're disabling you. And if you're not at, I think it's 70% or less or something like that, I think they end up blowing you up. It's either 60 or 70%. If they hit you when you're at that health percent, they'll destroy you. So if you're in hardcore, press the start button, make sure you have your health on the screen, as much as possible, because it's just something that helps out. Even if you don't, it's a lot better, to go land the helicopter, repair for 15 or 20 seconds than having that helicopter down for 80 seconds. What's gonna be better? You flying for an extra 60 seconds or 0 seconds. So it's almost just common sense. Just play a little more cautionary. You just definitely gotta look out to where that attack helicopter is. I'm trying to think if I was remembering anything else too. With those tanks too, you definitely got to do a lot more strafing runs too, and you can see through this gameplay, I'm going really low, I'm going really fast, and I'm just trying to put, every single missile in that tank. And with the recent patch, it's a lot easier to kill the tanks, and so what ends up happening is typically after your first pass, you'll have one guy jump out of the tank, and they'll start repairing it. And so typically on your second pass you'll be able to go around and, you know, kill the repair guy, and depending on where you hit them with their missiles and stuff, and if they have reactive armor on, you should kill them on your second pass if most of your missiles do end up hitting them, which is, you know, the case for most of the time. But hopefully you guys end up liking this video, and thanks for watching. I'm gonna have some more live commentaries coming because I haven't done one in a while, and I do miss them. I do enjoy doing them. So let me know what type of weapons you guys would have me using. I'm probably going to do a C4 on the gameplay soon, just because I've done it before, and with these little bit longer maps now, I definitely want to do that. So thanks for watching again, guys, and you know, fly well.